provision of potable water sources. So YLI does that primarily through three main project interventions. The most common, what they've done the most in the past, is through drilling shallow wells in rural communities. So shallow wells considered anything up to 60 meters deep. Most of the wells that they're drilling are about 35, 50 meters. Drilling those, fitting them with hand pumps, and also doing the requisite work in the local community to mobilize the community around those water sources so they take ownership over those. So drilling wells, they also do well rehabilitations. If you've been in a developing country in a rural area, odds are you've seen a well that's abandoned and covered in dust and looking very sad as a sign of heart failure. So YLI also repairs wells that have been broken down, whether they're wells that they've drilled before or other ones that other organizations have done. They also rehab wells, which is a way of not spending as much money and hopefully providing an equally safe water source. So they do well rehabilitations. And then the third thing is working with household water filters. While I was there, we did a big project with biosand filters, and they've also done projects with clay pot filters and different household water filters to provide clean water on a smaller scale. So those are the main three water interventions. And the other big area of Water's Life's work is with sustainable living groups. And when I did my practicum in Ethiopia, I was mostly working on that side of things with the sustainable living groups. They are community groups of about 15 to 20 people that meet together weekly, and the big component of their organization is saving money. So it's people who wouldn't necessarily qualify for microfinance, but they come together as an affinity group to save money, to support each other socially, to discuss their life problems, and basically support each other. So it's meant to be a really grassroots movement and a good way of bringing people together to support each other. So YLI tries to tie those two sides of the projects together. And then since 2006, YLI has drilled over 400 wells and established over 500 SLGs, impacting close to 1 million people in the past 10 years. So that's the scope of what Water's Life is doing. And then, I was talking about the different water interventions, but YLI really tries to do a complete, wash kind of cycle and process in the communities that they work in. So that is starting from when we would initially enter into a community, doing baseline surveys and really getting to know the local community, all the way through the end of projects when we phase out of the area that we're working in. And so the wash cycle includes the hardware side of whenever the well drilling or the provision of the clean water. And then on the software side, that involves sanitation and hygiene training, which you do with all of the projects. And then also the formation of a water use committee. So a water use committee is a committee of about 7 community members, a mix of men and women, and they're elected by the local community to govern the well. So they're the ones who decide if the well will have a fee per jerry can that people collect, or if there will be specific hours that the well is operated. They're also in charge of the maintenance of the well. So we found, and YLI has found in their experience, that forming a water use committee of local community members that the community themselves elects really helps promote the sustainability of the well over the long run, because they're the ones who truly take ownership and truly will protect and help promote the sustainability of the well. So that's the general wash process, and all of that is done by YLI through their partners. So, like I said before, Water's Life, being very small, is able to do a lot of stuff in Ethiopia through a network of collaboration. So YLI partners with 4 levels of the Ethiopian government: the national level, regional, the ward, the Kebele, which is all the way down to the local kind of county. And so, in Ethiopia, in my experience, and Water's Life's experience, the government is a very willing partner in development initiatives. It's totally on their radar, and we did a lot, especially with local health workers to partner with the local government in our projects. So that's one partnership model.